Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Hi, it's Maria Roberts, and this is your video broadcaster tutorial. Alright, so we're in our studio. Here's where we go to actually access our broadcast. Up here in the upper right corner, click on Go to My Video Broadcaster. When we click on it, a separate page will pop up. And now what we're going to do is we notice all kinds of different areas, portals that are leading us within the video broadcaster. Now, if this is your first time in here, you definitely want to go to the settings first, because the settings will allow you to set your general settings for your broadcast. What do I mean by general settings? Well, this is self-explanatory, and when you're done filling in this information here, you definitely want to click Submit Settings. You have keywords, you have your description and your company name. But most importantly, you definitely want to go to time zone settings. Set your time zone for your particular area that you are actually in. Meaning, if you're in New York and you're doing a broadcast in New York, set it for New York time zone or Eastern Standard Time Zone. If you're in California, you happen to be in California that week, and you're doing a live broadcast, then you definitely want to set it for Pacific time. So wherever that you are doing the broadcast is the time zone setting you want to set it for. Don't set it for whomever it is that you're doing the broadcast for. Do it for whatever time zone the presenter is speaking in, and that's going to really help you out as well. That'll affect when you set your times and broadcast times for your audience when you're doing your broadcast. So just set it for the time zone that you're speaking in and you're currently in. That will make that much of a difference. Alright, so now the next segment that you definitely want to go to is company logo. Company logo is important. You want to browse your computer, look for the logo, look for the information that you want to put in there. Now let's say I put this banner in here, and this is a different type of size and all that. Will it resize? Well, let's see if it will. If I click on Submit Settings, it definitely will resize it to the size that's recommended up there. So any size that you put, and make it a nice horizontal picture. Horizontal pictures work best, but let's look at the image info here. So 300 by 80 is the size that's needed for that upper left logo, and over here, this size that's needed, let's look at that, is 468 by 80. That's the banner to the upper right. So just make sure that you know the sizes, but it will resize for you, so you don't have to worry about that. And then if somebody during your broadcast happens to click on that banner, where do you want them to go to? So that's important to put there, the links and the URLs, wherever you want to lead people to after your broadcast is over or before your broadcast, because it does pop up in a separate window. So it's okay to put that. And also the color that goes behind the actual pictures, you can actually put whatever type of color picture that you want to, and then you can just click out of there and then click Submit Settings. Make sure that you always click Submit Settings and save in this area so that you can see the different colors that are up there. Now once you have this whole area taken care of, settings, you definitely want to go to Content. Make sure that in your content area you do click on your name, the first link that you see there. These are other accounts that I've created within here. But now you can go and actually create new folders, add whatever type of content you want, whether it's videos, whether it's pictures. I would suggest definitely separating the pictures folders from the video folders, and then of course your presentations in another folder as well. You can just, once you have your folders selected and created, you can go ahead and click on New File, look inside of your computer for the actual videos that you have or pictures that you have that you want to include in here. And it's as simple as just, we'll just go to sample pictures here. If I wanted to upload a picture of penguins, just say that, it's going to go all the way to 100, and it'll put it right here. Now if I specify a folder, let's say I clicked on MVT Prezo, and then I put a picture of the penguins in here, then it would just end up right in here where you can see penguins right inside of this MVT Prezo. Now if I wanted to go back up one level back to my home area, I could. If I wanted to go up one level, go back to the front area, I could do that as well. So I love this content area because it's a little bit more cleaner, and I can delete folders, delete files, things that I want to be able to do, but everything that I have in here will be able to be used inside of my video broadcasts. So that's really, really key. And then lastly, once I'm ready, I come back and actually click on Broadcast. When I'm ready to set up my broadcast, if I'm doing it later on in the evening and I want to set it up, I usually don't set up my broadcast until about 15 minutes before I'm about to go live. Now, one of the URLs that, of course, that you can give to somebody is your ID number. And let's say this is my ID number, mvtbroadcaster.com. So I don't have to worry about giving them a specific link or any type of other thing. This remains the same. So if I wanted to bring somebody to my audience, as part of my audience, I would just give them this link, or I could embed it behind a picture on my site, or if I wanted to send it out in an email, I just give them my ID number, mvtbroadcaster.com, and they would get to the area where they could click on the green play button and get in there and enter their name as a guest. Alright, so then we'll go over this next upcoming area with setting up a new broadcast in the next tutorial. Thank you so much, and hopefully you get your broadcast all ready to go. We're almost there. Bye for now. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Hi, it's Maria Roberts, and we're doing part 2 of your My Video Broadcaster tutorial. Alright, now that we know how to get to this part, we're done loading in our content, we're done loading in our settings, and now we're ready to create a new broadcast. We're getting ready to go live in 15 minutes, so this is what all we have to do. First of all, make sure that this blue square is on the date that you want to be able to do the broadcast. As you can tell, today is October 25th, so I'm doing this right now. I'm going ahead and creating a new broadcast, and then I'm going to put the broadcast name. Now the broadcast name should be very descriptive because people see it when they're in your audience in the upper right corner of your broadcast, and I'll show you that. So just remember, I'm saying broadcast name, so remember where I'm putting it right now. So what I usually do when we're doing the My Video Talk corporate broadcast is I'll do something like this: 6 p.m. Pacific MVT webinar with Daryl and Maria Roberts, live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Alright, and then in the description I'll just put this: click on the green play button below to watch this broadcast. Enter your name in the guest field to enter the room. Doesn't matter what I'm saying, but you know what I'm talking about. So you have the description right there, because when people see it, I'll be able to show you how it looks like. Alright, so let's say I'm doing the broadcast at 11 o'clock, or let's just say 10:30. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to set it for 5 minutes beforehand. Alright, so why do I do that? Well, it just makes a lot of sense that I don't want a lot of people in my broadcasts, chatting away while I'm not in there. So I like to be prepared and make sure that I have, if people start coming in the room, I'm in there and the broadcast is open around that time. I put the estimated duration all the way up towards 2 hours, and then everything else I'm keeping exactly the same, unless I didn't want to allow guests and I wanted to make this a private event, etc. So for right now, you can see where that goes, and you can be able to play with it as you learn more about this feature. So event type remains at broadcast. Do not change this whatsoever. Keep the presenter there, and also keep your settings. If you're going to have an audience and they're a public audience, just keep it at allow guests. Alright, pressing submit. Now this link here is a link that you could copy and you can send it as an email, but in the earlier tutorial I told you that all you need is up until here, right here. Everything else to the right of this little example here is not needed. So all you need to do is give people your ID number .myvideobroadcaster.com, and they'll come to a green play button. Now your green play button will look like this. Let me just show you. This is how it's going to look like on your page. So if you go to this page, 201535.myvideobroadcaster.com, this is just what I wrote here: 6 p.m. Pacific, MVT webinar with Daryl and Maria Roberts, live from Las Vegas, Nevada. And then it says click on the green play button below to watch this broadcast. Enter your name in the guest field to enter the room. So that's what I did. So when people see that, they'll say, oh, click on the green play button. Okay, so they'll click on it, and then they'll be able to get in. But let's go from the presenter standpoint now. Back to the presenters. Okay, so as a presenter, as soon as you create your room, this is what you see. So as a presenter, where do you go? Well, you just click on the blue link. That's your sign right there for you to get and enter your room so that you could be the presenter and do what you need to do. Now this may look familiar to a lot of you because you've probably attended our live broadcast, and let me just let you know this part. If you are a presenter and you're the one doing the speaking, you're the one that's going to be seen in the box, you're the one that's doing the broadcast, you put in your username and password to get into your room to present. If you are a guest in someone else's broadcast and you're just there watching them, you always enter in as a guest. So when I go to Mel and Amy's broadcast or Mel's broadcast, I enter in as a guest. Even though I'm a representative, I still just enter in as a guest because I'm a guest of their broadcast. So if I'm going to Bob Smith's broadcast, I'm entering in as a guest. But if I, Maria Roberts, am doing a broadcast, then I'm going to enter my username and password in here. So I am a presenter, because I'm going to give you guys an example of being a presenter. And now I just have to remember what my password was so I can... I think that's it. Hopefully I have that correct. Let me have to add one more thing. Okay, hopefully that'll let me in. I knew it. I normally have this area all filled in, so let me try one more time. Okay, let me just try that. Okay, there we go. All right. Got into my own webcast. All right, so now that I'm the presenter, this is really neat. So of course you have the camera and voice pod, you have your chat pod that's automatically defaulted there, and you have your share pod. Now this is pretty self-explanatory, but we're still going to go from here. If I wanted to start my broadcast right away, I could just click start and then click the picture of the lock, and that locks down the audio and that locks down the video so that people could see me with this and hear me with this. Now why is this little picture of a microphone here? Well, this hold to talk acts like a little CB radio, or a CB, you know those old CB radios where you have to hold down to talk. So if you hold it down, you're talking. Once you're done talking, you let go. That's if you have a two-person chat that's going on and you don't want any of that feedback or echo or anything like that, then you would use that to be able to converse back and forth with the person that you're talking to that ends up on this side here. Because sometimes people use this broadcaster as a two-way, like a Skype thing. Yes, you can do three-way, yes, you can do four-way, but that's another advanced tutorial that we'll talk about a little bit later on. Alright, so one of the first things that we did when we came in here is we created a new custom layout, just to have different types of ways that we can save the layouts. So what I did first was I just created the layout the way that I wanted to, made my chat box bigger, and I was able to have this increase in size as well. So I just did this. Save it the way that you want to save it first. Increase the size of your presentation whatever way that you want to. And let me make sure that I have that correct there. There we go. And then all I did was I went to layout and then I pressed save layout. And then I called this layout, let's see, overview layout. And I click save layout. So let me just show you, if I'm Xing out of here, I just want to X out of that and just show you for a second, and I go back into my broadcast. Alright, yes, I have to put remember me next time. Alright, I'm going in, and alright, I'm going to put remember me, so in case I do this again, I want to make sure that I get there. Alright, I'm opening it up all the way. Okay, so it saved my layout the way I wanted to, but let's say I ended this and I came back in, all I would do is go to layouts, custom layouts are going to be overview layout. I click on that and then it brings it to this same layout. So that's just an example of the layout. You create the layout you want, and then it'll automatically be in here when you click on layouts and then custom layouts and then click it on there. Now you do have pods that you can put up or down. If you wanted to take off the chat, you could either click on the X down here, or you could just click on the chat right here, and it makes the box disappear. Once you put it back, it's like a little toggle switch. It'll put it right back on there. So many different things that you can do with it as well. If you wanted to actually have the file sharing pod up here, you know, I would never put it over my face, but I could always like put it somewhere else on here. If I wanted to get rid of the chat and then put this here, or whatever that I wanted to do. If I wanted to upload a file, of course I could upload a file, and then anybody that's inside of my broadcast could download this file right on there, and this is what they see. They see a download button, and they're able now to click on that and take that picture if they wanted to and do that. So that's different things that they can do in here. The whiteboard is on here. The whiteboard is not only for as you can see, the pods are very expandable and minimized, and you can do all kinds of different things with it, but I like to open up the whiteboard over the share area because that's the area that I'm sharing in. And then of course not only do I have capability to be able to do all the things that I want to be able to do. But also, if I click on this little menu area right here, I can allow my participants in my audience to draw as well, so they can do that as well. So that's something that I can do that, or I can just clear it, or whatever that I want to be able to do, clear the whiteboard and have that there. Now I can X out of the whiteboard so that it goes back out, and of course my share pod's right there. Anytime you want to bring a pod back, all you do is share. Attendee list is here as well. Attendee list is going to let everybody know that who's in the broadcast. So if you're in any of our broadcasts, we never put the attendee list up because that's something private for the actual presenters to see. So anytime you open up the attendee list, it will be seen by everybody in the audience. So just make note of that when you do that. And then of course you do have the Q&A pods. Now of course Q&A first has to be created in the earlier areas. Now let me just minimize this and show you right here where it says surveys. If you want to create surveys, you have to go in here and actually create the surveys before the broadcast. It's very, very simple. You click on your name and then you click on add survey, and then you can actually ask the question. So it's really self-explanatory when you get to that standpoint. So just to let you know the different types of things that are available with the surveys. So let's get back to our actual broadcast, and hopefully I didn't minimize it too much there. It might be there, but I have to go back and actually click on that so you can see me. There we are. Alright, so all kinds of different things. This is an extra share thing. Now in case you didn't download it, which we didn't show you how to download it, but if you wanted to share your desktop, you click on it and it says please install the Desk Share application. Well, all you would do is click here in case you forgot, and then it would say to save your file. You save it on your hard drive, you open it up on your hard drive, download it. It's a quick second of a download, and once it feels that it's on your computer, it'll automatically open up. Video feed, if I had other people that I invited, let's say I invited 5 people to this broadcast here, well, those people's names would all show up here, and once I wanted to be able to show somebody in the broadcast, all I would do is highlight their name and then drag them over to this side, and then on their end they would just have to press their picture of their camera and picture of their microphone in order to press that once I press start feed. So just playing around with this, that's how I kind of got to know different areas of what I'm doing, but all kinds of different ways that you can really have fun with this. So many different types of features that are on here, but I love that these pods are all resizable. You can close it. Not really recommended to close your camera and voice pod, but you can bring it back up just like that. But you can open it all the way, do what you want to do, minimize it. It's just like doing your windows in a Windows. You have the maximize panel and you have the X panel to X out and do that. If you're having a bad hair day, you can open this all the way and actually be able to show your PowerPoints. Now, speaking of PowerPoints, remember content. Remember where we uploaded in the content earlier in the actual first tutorial? All we do is click on content from account. Don't use from my computer, always go from my account. Can you do from computer? Yes, you can, but I like to have all my things uploaded, so does everybody else as well. But being able to come in here, click on a presentation, and be able to now just click on the slide that we want, and while we're talking, we do the presentation, and then as we speak about the actual product in the background, now your audience can't see this part right here. They're not seeing you change the slide and do all that. They're still seeing the first slide, and as you change the second slide, it brings it up, and now you're able to have the information here. Obviously this is an older slide, but you can still get the picture of what I'm talking about here, changing another slide and going back to the original slide. So that's up to you. You just got to get good with it. It's a little bit different, and of course everything's going to always be improved with technology, but what we have right here is absolutely dynamic. I love the ability to be able to resize all these different things. And remember, at the end of the bottom corner of every slide, there's a menu button. So different types of things that you can do with this menu button in addition to your camera settings and microphone settings. There's also another thing, because this is just regular high quality flash that you're going to be broadcasting in, but there's also another thing called SuperStream, and that's on another tutorial that we'll have soon. But just wanted to show you all these great features, so many great things that you can do. Of course, if you ever get stuck or need any additional help, all you have to do is just ask, and someone will be there definitely to help you out. Now, the last thing that we do once we have our slides and we're ready to go is, of course, we click on the start camera and we click on the picture of the lock to lock down our audio. Once we see that green microphone on and we ask our audience, can you see me? Can you hear me? Just enter in a yes, and then once they say yes, then you're off and rolling and talking and doing your live broadcast. All right? Well, make it a great day. We're glad that you're learning about all of your tools that you have available to you. This is so much fun. Have a great day. Make it a terrific week. Bye for now. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Sorry, I forgot a couple last things about the video broadcaster, so I'm going to call this part 3. About the video broadcast, when you're done with your broadcast, go to broadcast, and then you're going to click end broadcast. When you click end broadcast, that means that no one can come back in here. No one's going to be left in here talking, chatting, or doing anything like that. So just know that. In addition, before you start your broadcast, there is record broadcast right here under broadcast. Now, keep in mind the recording part of the broadcast is currently in beta while we're in pre-launch. So just know that they're working on to improve the recording. I would say 90% of the time it works, but then there's still that 10% that it may not work. So as you can see, we've recorded a broadcast. It's right there on myvideopartners.com. If you click on the broadcast, you'll be able to see that a recorded version of a broadcast that we just recently did. So just so that you know, you're able to record the broadcast, but always click end broadcast. Don't worry about leave broadcast, but do know that you do have end broadcast. And when you click on end broadcast, it totally ends your broadcast. I always go right back to broadcast again, because when I end the broadcast, right down here, a delete broadcast button opens up. And just to have a clean area, I always click delete broadcast, and then I click delete. Now, if I did record it, I don't want to delete it, but I didn't record it, so I just click delete broadcast, and of course my whole area is clean until the next time that I have to click a new broadcast, and then I start over again. So I just wanted to leave you with that, to have that information as well. And then the last other tip that I wanted to give you while we're still in here is, if you do happen to upload any videos in here other than .flv. Let's say you uploaded a Windows Media or a QuickTime movie, or you uploaded a .avi video in content. It'll automatically go to the encoding queue to transcode it, meaning to convert it from your original format of whatever video you uploaded to high quality flash .flv. So just know that it'll go there, but it'll always end up back in the folder that you designated it to be. So just keep in mind, yes, it may go to encoding queue, but it will always drop back into content. So know that it will take a little bit of time depending on how huge the file is, or how small it is, or whatever. Just know that it will automatically encode it. So if you upload it, you don't have to designate it as a certain file. It'll automatically know. It has a Genius built in. It'll automatically know, hey, this is a .avi. Let me convert it to flash, and then let me put it in the file or folder that he or she designated. So it's a really cool thing that you have that automatic built-in encoder like that. Now, the other video encoder that's in the system, you'll only have to download that if you have files over 100 megabytes. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about this area right here as we go out of the actual broadcaster. My video encoder here, you don't have to download that to your hard drive only unless you have files that are over 100 megabytes. You can always just hover over the file and look, and it'll give you how many megabytes, or how big it is, and you'll be able to see. Now, if you have files that are smaller than that, you can use it internally. You can use my files to upload movies, or you can go directly to your video broadcaster and upload movies from the content area inside of the actual broadcaster. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know that part. Make it a terrific day. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye for now.